I welcome you to the pure world I have forged.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another ranking video. Today we are looking at Tekken 7's Katarina. Sadly she's not in Tekken 8 yet, and I would love to see her come back, maybe for Season 3. Regardless, we do have quite a few outfits to look at for her in her debut title of Tekken 7. So the usual way I do these videos is we start off with little character analysis, trying to understand who Katarina is, what motivates her, what her personality is, and then using that as a kind of base to judge her costumes. Obviously, there's no such thing as an objective opinion, so there will be a little bit of my own bias in here, but I'll try to justify each rank. As always, I've created my own tier list for this ranking video. So we have Tekken themed categories. So the first one, the worst one, is D.
You lose.
This is for outfits that are just basically completely trash and irredeemable and no one likes them. C rank is
Continue.
which is an outfit that is maybe like an acquired taste, something that not everyone's going to like, but it's not completely trash. B is
Okay.
so this is just a really good solid look, but it's maybe not anything particularly special. A is
Great.
this is something that stands out amongst the others, it's something that's really cool, one of their best outfits. And then we have, of course, S rank, which is
Perfect.
so this is just perfection. Basically this outfit is perfect, it represents this character, and it just looks awesome. And then of course we have this Supreme Tekken God Prime category, which is where I will rank Katarina's ultimate best outfit, whichever one that might be. So I've done something a little bit different for this video as well. At the end we're going to look at some future designs for Katarina, a few designs that I've drawn myself, just sort of exploring a few ideas maybe where they could take this character design wise if she does come back in Tekken 8 or indeed a future Tekken. So I hope you'll stick around to watch that. So let's start off with diving into Katarina's character, looking at her backstory, her motivations and her personality, and then from there we can start to rank her outfits based on these categories. So Katarina lost both her parents at a young age and was eventually adopted by a man that she'd actually never met before. She rebelled against him and used a lot of foul language, but eventually this man's kindness wore her down and they became close. He actually was the one who taught her her Savat fighting style that we see her use in Tekken 7. With this little backstory, I think we can infer quite a few things. So Katarina is a very confident, arrogant and quite sassy character. I think there's an overconfidence with her where she's very, very sure of herself. Even something as simple as her fighting stance, she's literally just sort of standing there with her hand on her hip. She's basically lowered her guard, and in a sense I think it's because she's so relaxed and laid back and she doesn't think that you're much of a threat at all, and she's so overconfident that she doesn't care. It's also kind of contrary to her fighting style of Savat, which is usually quite a defensive fighting style. Of course we've only really seen her in one mainline Tekken, but I think because of her backstory it makes sense to me that she's sort of got this tough girl persona. The fact that she lost her parents from a young age, I think that would toughen you up somewhat. And she's so sure of herself because she kind of has only had herself to rely on, at least until she met her stepfather. I think to some extent maybe her sassiness is a bit of a posture. I do think there are some layers to this character. Some of her intros are fairly arrogant, even a bit threatening at times, but then some of her win poses, like she can recognise that her opponent might have some skill, but they're not as skilled as her. Both her and Gigas's endings are quite intriguing, where spoiler alert, it's heavily suggested that Gigas is her missing adopted father. In both versions we can see that Katarina recognises something is going on here, there's something hidden. I always liked that her ending was given a bit more of a serious tone, it's not like a dumb joke like a lot of them end up being. There's definitely some intrigue there and she can tell there's something going on with this creature. I think ultimately all the arrogance and sass and flashiness is kind of this like outer armor she wears, and underneath there is a good person, there is a good soul. She wants to do what's right by her adopted father. She kind of reminds me of Anna somewhat, except Katarina is a lot more sassy, a bit foul-mouthed and a bit more scrappy. I think while Anna's far more flirtatious, Katarina's got some of that, but Katarina's all about kicking your ass and looking good while doing it, which I can get on board with. I think a lot of Katarina's costumes do reflect the overconfidence she has. Sometimes they're quite sexy, sometimes they're quite flashy. A lot of them are quite loud and flamboyant, but I think it's very reflective of her. She is very sure of herself and she doesn't really give a damn what you think. And that fits her very well. With that in mind, let's explore her debut look in Tekken 7. So debuting in Tekken 7, Katarina's default look is this white ensemble. She wears this white sort of feathered coat with peacock motifs. She wears a leather bikini with matching underwear, where you can actually see a bit of a whale tail going on. Probably one of the few characters I've seen actually pull off this look. Very early 2000s. And this is above a pair of pinstripe trousers and high-heeled shoes. Quite a significant piece of her outfit is her sunglasses. These match her tanned leather gloves that have little silver knuckle dusters on with little love hearts, which is very cute. The outfit has a few little golden accessories, including her necklace with the sort of teal pendant, which kind of matches the teal blue of the peacock feathers on her coat. This look definitely screams confidence to me when I first look at it. This lady obviously is very sure of herself. The sunglasses is usually an indication of someone who's a bit full of themselves, someone who's perhaps a bit of a diva. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. Obviously he's like an actor and a superstar, and she's giving me that kind of vibes where even the pose in this CG render, she's very, very confident. I would weirdly compare this outfit to what Anna wears as her debut design in Tekken 8, where on the surface it does kind of give sort of, oh, token video game hottie, but the actual details in the outfit, when you start to pick them apart, are quite interesting. So I think the most significant part is that there's this sort of peacock motif on the coat. A lot of Katarina's moves are named after different bird things, such as different species or claws and things, and I think the peacock feathers match that very well. It also is another indication of her arrogance and maybe even vanity. You know, obviously a peacock is known for being a symbol of beauty and sometimes vanity, so it fits her quite well. It's also a look that I actually think looks better in motion, so when she's fighting and doing certain kicks, you see the coat sort of flow around her, which kind of resembles bird feathers. Again, it's all tying into the bird motif, maybe even the peacock motif of this character. Even something as simple as her high heels with her fighting style, Savat, it's sort of known to sort of go for like downwards kicks and aiming kicks at, you know, weak points on the body, and the idea that she would kick down with the heel I think makes a lot of sense. The pinstripe trousers are kind of pimping as well, and I also feel like the guns either side of her bra, it's like, you can look but don't touch me because I'll shoot you. She definitely gives me sort of gangster girl vibes. Maybe she's got them just in case she needs them when she's trying to find what happened to her adopted father? I don't know. But they look cool regardless. I think it's a really strong, solid debut look for her. It tells us everything we need to know about this character. She's sexy, she's confident, she's arrogant. There's the bird motif, which recurs with a few of her outfits and obviously her fighting style. I also appreciate that she's obviously a character from Brazil, like Christy and Eddie, and they kind of went out of their way to make her look distinct from both of them, because both of those characters have very distinct looks, so it could have been very easy to create just, oh, another, you know, colourful Brazilian character, but no, they almost went down a more monochromatic look for this, which I appreciate. But yeah, as a debut look, I think it does its job pretty well, and so that's why I'm going to give it an A rank.
Great!
So Tekken 7 had this interesting trend of giving quite a lot of the characters' outfits recolours, and so Katarina has quite a few different colours of her first outfit. So her Player 2 outfit is basically just a recoloured version where you've got now a sort of cyan coloured coat. The trousers now have these brown and white stripes. The bikini's more of a sort of maroon colour, etc, etc. And it's a really solid recolour. I like it. There's not really much else to say about it. It suits her. So this can go an A alongside it.
Great!
The third variant of Katarina's default outfit is called Costume A. As I said earlier, every character in this game got a costume A variant, which is basically taking their default design and giving it sort of like both a recolor, but also featuring lots of different patterns. And so this is Katarina's version. I actually really love the contrast of the sort of vibrant blue coat with all the different swirling patterns over the peacock feathers, and then the sort of bronze trousers with the white stripes and the intricate details as well. I did find like these costume A re-colours, re-patterns could be very hit or miss with the cast, but Katarina's one I think is quite successful. There's something about the vibrancy of the blue and the gold and then the sort of bronze trousers that just really complements each other, as well as the sort of silvery bikini. It all is quite cohesive and works well together. So this can join its other variants in A.
Great!
That brings us to the final variant of her default outfit, which is the metallic variant. Tekken 7 gave every character's main outfit a golden makeover, which looks really cool. It's definitely much more interesting than the lazy attempt in Tekken 8, but let's not go there. And again, there's not really a lot to add here, it's literally just Katarina's main outfit given a golden recolor. I do like that they've kept the sort of blue peacock feathers in the coat. And yeah, it's cool, it's fine. I don't think it's quite as good as the other outfits, it is just a lot of gold and a lot of shininess. But yeah, it's not bad, so this can get a B rank.
Okay.
So that brings us to Katarina's first proper alternative outfit, which is called her Ranger look. This consists of a green jumper crop top tucked into orange battle gloves. This is paired with a navy blue miniskirt and maroon coloured thigh-high boots. There's lots of little interesting details. She's got like little pockets on her sleeves. She's got a pocketbook attached to her thigh. She's even got a little knife on her ankle, which is interesting. What I like about this outfit is that it sort of implies Katarina's day job in a sense. I feel like this could be her day-to-day work as perhaps a park ranger. I mean, it's called her Ranger look. And I also like to think that because she has this avian motif with her moveset and some of her designs, that she maybe works in like a bird park or a bird sanctuary and, you know, keeps an eye on everything and makes sure people are behaving themselves. She definitely looks like she means business in this look, and it's also still quite sexy, which, you know, like, you wouldn't want to mess with her, but you probably also would like to mess with her because she looks pretty good. The quadratic colour scheme also is quite complementary to each other. I think there's something quite nice about the orange going into the green with the navy skirt and then the maroon boots. It just all feels quite cohesive. I've personally always liked outfits like these. It's kind of like a lore outfit where it sort of suggests what this character might be doing outside of entering tournaments. It's definitely a more battle-ready outfit and a bit more practical, which again would potentially suit her job if she were a park ranger. Yeah, I think it's a really, really good look. I think it represents her in a different way compared to her base design. There's some potential storytelling here with this costume, and she just looks banging. And I think that's why this one is going to go in S rank.
Perfect.
Katarina's Ranger look was also given a metallic repaint, this time in silver. I personally prefer the silver over the gold metallic outfit she has for her base look. I just think it looks a bit more cohesive and a bit more coherent with itself. This one can go in B rank.
Okay.
Next we have a completely original outfit, and this is Katarina's Diva look. This consists of a summery ensemble, a wide brim white sun hat over a swimsuit cover-up that's a sort of champagne colour that fades out into more of a coral. This is set over some white swimwear with some silver accessories. On her feet she wears sort of sandal high heels with coral coloured ribbons. There's also lots of nice little accessories, the feather earrings, which obviously links to the avian motif of this character, and all the various bits of jewellery. She definitely looks like she's going to the beach, going to the pool, and is going to look good while relaxing. While Katarina's Ranger outfit was the sort of more practical, possibly work-oriented look, this is Katarina on her day off. You know, she's going to the pool, she's going to the beach. She's more casual, but she's still looking pretty sexy. I like the swimsuit cover-up, which, you know, calling it a cover-up is pretty generous because she still has plenty of skin on show. I think the sort of champagne colour fading it into the orange with the orange straps on her shoes that all really fit together well, and the silver details and decorations really complement the rest of the look. That's why I'm going to give this one an A rank.
Great.
Katarina's Diva outfit is also given a costume B recolor and repattern, and it's a bit of a fail. There's something a bit off-putting about the lime green bra over the sort of blue and coral cover-up with the flowery hat. It just looks really weird. I think especially the flowery hat is just kind of too cutesy and girly for Katarina. It just doesn't suit her in my opinion. And the garish colours just contrast, and it just is not the one. And so this is going to be our first D rank.
You lose.
The other variant of this look is basically just without the swimsuit cover-up, so it's basically just Katarina in a swimsuit bikini thing. And it's fine. It's an acquired taste, I suppose. I've always found like swimwear in video games are usually pretty uninspired. But it's not a bad look. It's just like, if you like want to see her in a bikini, there you go. This one can go in C.
Continue.
Katarina's next outfit is simply called her summer look, and it's a much more casual look. She wears a floral patterned t-shirt that's sort of tucked in at the front but untucked at the back into her green hot pants. She also wears strappy high heels and has a necklace with jewels on it. Like her diva look, this is a much more casual Katarina. I mean, it says summer and just looks like something she'd probably throw on to go about the town. You know, it's quite chilled, it's quite relaxing, you know, she's still got to show a bit of leg and her booty shorts, again, keeping that sexuality. But it's just, you know, a nice solid look. It's not anything crazy, but it's also not bad. It's just nice. This one can go in B.
Okay.
Next we have Katarina's superstar look. She wears a blue satin shirt that's tied at the waist over her white hot pants and high heel shoes. It's a pretty simple look. The superstar element, I'm not quite sure where that comes from. I mean, she looks really cool. She looks a bit smarter than her previous look, but it's still kind of more casual compared to her other looks. It's still quite sexy. Again, you've got lots of leg on show, which is very nice. And also the colours are kind of muted. I mean, I like them. I like the pale blue with the white, but they're not exactly screaming superstar to me. I feel like this one could have been much more vibrant. Regardless, it's a nice look. It's just another nice casual outfit for her, but you know, it's not bad and it's not super amazing. It's just a nice look. So this one can go in B as well.
Okay.
So that brings us to Katarina's final look, which is the Idolmaster crossover look. So a whole bunch of girls in Tekken 7 got this appearance, and Katarina's is the hot pink variation. It's a bit harder to judge because it does belong to another character. Her name is Takane, so again, I don't know what this outfit actually looks like. I'll have to look it up. But it's okay on Katarina. It's kind of an acquired taste. I think the fit of it around the sort of top half of her looks a bit odd. You can see here, like, it looks a lot better on Kasumi than it does on Katarina, unfortunately. And also it is a little bit girly, like the sort of hot pink and the bows and the love hearts. I don't know if they really suit her. It's one of those looks that's kind of like, you either love it or hate it. So I think it's probably going to have to go in C rank.
Continue.
So there's all of Katarina's costumes ranked. Of course, we still need to rank one as the Tekken God Prime. And unfortunately, there's only one choice, which is the Ranger outfit.
Of Iron Fist Tournament.
I feel like the base design is a really good start, but there's definitely much more you could do with this character. I think I prefer the Ranger outfit because it has sort of a bit of lore implications and it's a bit more battle ready. And I just love the colour scheme, so there we go. This is our Tekken God Prime outfit. So those are all of Katarina's outfits ranked. Obviously, she's only appeared so far in Tekken 7 as well as the Tekken mobile game. But luckily, we've had quite a few outfits to look at today, and I think it gives us a nice idea of who this character is. There's a good range here, even in this debut title for her. But we do have this final section where I'm going to be exploring possible future designs for her in Tekken 8 or a future Tekken. So I've drawn these designs myself. These designs are just concepts, they're just a few different ideas I thought I'd explore with this character, what she could possibly look like in a future game, maybe some story direction, taking some inspiration from previous looks, that sort of thing. So let's dive into the first one. So the idea for this first look takes a lot of inspiration from her base design in Tekken 7, but it kind of runs with it and amplifies it and takes it to that higher level, which I think fits her arrogant show-off personality. So it's taking the peacock motif, you've now got this kind of big loud peacock collar, the peacock feathers go all the way down the coattails. Essentially the whole design is inspired by a literal peacock, even the different shades of blue fading into the yellow details, the gold, it's all cohesive with the peacock. And I think it's like a really good symbol of Katarina as a character, again highlighting the vanity and the arrogance and the show-offness of her. Just fits her quite well, I think. I kept her shades. I think the shades are quite a distinct part of her character. I'm pretty sure she was the first character to actually wear shades in her main outfit. I think Nina's now sort of got that feature in Tekken 8. And I also wanted to retain the like sexiness of the outfit, so there's a bit of skin on show, the sort of cutouts in the outfit underneath, but it's also still quite flamboyant and quite in your face, again highlighting Katarina being this sort of in your face show off character. So this first design I've also done a couple of variants on, the one on the left obviously taking inspiration from her original colour scheme, this pinstriped bodysuit short combination, and she's got her original sort of orange and brown glasses. Then the one on the right is a more monochromatic version where she's now wearing like a mini skirt underneath, and the colour scheme is a bit more faded but still quite stand out with the black and the white contrasting quite well with each other. Ultimately, this first design is trying to highlight the key elements of Katarina's character. She's an overconfident, arrogant, sassy lady who likes to shove a bit of skin and be flamboyant while doing it, and I think these designs kind of highlight that pretty well. Feel free to leave some feedback below in the comments. I would love to read what you think of these designs. So this next design is a more story-focused look for Katarina. The idea is here that after the events of Tekken 7 and she finds out that Gigas is a kind of G-Corp creation, she wants to find out more about him, so she ends up infiltrating G-Corp or maybe even the Tekken Force to uncover more information. And I don't think we've really seen that before in Tekken, where a character actively works for like the bad guy or the evil corporation as a kind of double agent. But the colour schemes and the design of this one is obviously inspired by her ranger outfit, taking some inspiration from the Tekken Force uniform as well. I guess she should be dressed more like a G-Corp soldier, because I think story-wise Kazuya owns G-Corp, but he somehow didn't get the Mishima Zaibatsu after Tekken 7. So, but Gigas was made by G-Corp, so she'd want to infiltrate them, so that was sort of the idea for this look. It's slightly more practical. I mean, it's still a bit sexier. She has to have a bit of skin on show with, you know, some bosom and some thigh, but I also wanted to retain some iconic features of her original look, where you've got the sort of gun bra, and she's even got her original necklace she was wearing, which I like to think was a gift from her adopted father, so that's why she's still wearing it. Even like the shades have now been changed into a kind of Tekken Force visor, so it's a callback to her original sunglasses, but more in line with what this outfit is trying to portray. Some inspiration did come from the female Tekken Force concept that they had, I think, for Tekken 4 or 5. Here she is, looking very practically dressed. But I kind of think like she probably ended up morphing into Katarina anyway. And also I've done some variants as well that are more in line with the original Tekken Force colours. You've obviously got the red and the black on this one on the left, and I've added the sort of sash piece because again I like the idea of Katarina having movement in her costumes when she's doing her kicks to resemble the kind of bird feathers. Then the one on the right is just a simple white and pink variant. I personally prefer this more ranger colour schemed one because I think that fits Katarina's character more, and these other two are a bit more uniform and I feel like she would definitely want to stand out. Again, please comment below if you have any feedback or notes on these outfits, or if you think this would be a good direction for Katarina's story if she does come back in Tekken 8 or a future Tekken. That brings us to this final design, which is basically Katarina turning into Gigas, or a female Gigas. The idea is, again, story-wise, that she went to investigate, find out what happened to him, but ended up getting captured by G-Corp and made into another version of this monster. Essentially, the design copies most of what goes on with Gigas. The only difference is, instead of having all these cables, I added these sort of like spikes to her head and to her various parts of the body, and these blue parts is like a serum that's being injected into her body, and it's like forcing her to become another version of Gigas. And I've done some variants where you can actually see some more skin on show, or even it's more bluey. The idea is that she's actually trying to resist the transformation, so there's still some humanity there, which we also saw with Gigas in his ending. But I think it'd be a cool way if, say, they brought Katarina back in Tekken 8 to combine her with Gigas in a sense. We've seen like female versions of characters like Master Raven, but it'd be a good way to be a sort of spiritual successor to both Katarina and Gigas and bring them forward, and also give us a more monstrous female character, because we don't really see them much in Tekken. And there we have it, we've reached the end of the video. Thank you so much if you stuck around for this long. I can't believe it's nearly been half an hour, it's actually kind of crazy. But I had a lot of fun doing these designs. They are a bit rough around the edges, they're just concepts really, but I really love Katarina. She was my favourite character in Tekken 7, and I really hope we see her in Tekken 8, hopefully in Season 3. Only time will tell. It was also a lot of fun to put my own spin and designs on a character like this, and I would love to do more of them. I think the next one I probably will try and do is Miguel. Miguel's one of my favourite Tekken characters, and I'm pretty confident we'll see him in Season 3, which probably will be announced early next year. So I kind of want to get a ranking video of him done probably before the end of this year. I definitely want to try. I mean, I can't make any promises because life's quite busy at the minute, but we'll see. And it'll be also fun to design some outfits for him as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the ranking, and I hope you enjoyed the designs. Let me know what you think below. Feel free to follow me on all my socials, including X and of course Twitch. I do stream lots of things, including Tekken. I also recently launched some merchandise. Feel free to look at my fourth wall page, and we've got t-shirts, stickers, jumpers, all sorts of things, so go check that out too. And if you've made it all the way through the end of this video, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time.
Vai de volta pra sua mamãe.